everyone, and welcome to the pharmacy counter. Today we are going to talk about creatinine clearance. This is going to be a very simplified video, but hopefully it will give you a basic understanding of what creatinine is, how we calculate creatinine clearance and its importance, etc. When I was at uni, I remember it taking me ages to understand what creatinine clearance was, the Cockroft and Galt equation, and EGFR, and how they all related. But hopefully this video will help you with your understanding of creatinine clearance. So what is creatinine? Creatinine is, simply put, it's a waste product, and it's produced when your muscles break down. It is eliminated only through the kidneys, mainly through glomerular filtration and a bit of secretion. It's important to note that it is not reabsorbed into the bloodstream, which is why it is an amazing marker to assess a patient's renal function. What is creatinine clearance and what are its uses? So creatinine clearance essentially is an estimate of how well your kidneys are functioning, and this estimate is based on the amount of creatinine that is being excreted through your kidneys, through your urine per minute. Okay, so as we explained before, all your creatinine is excreted via your kidneys. Therefore, if there's a problem with your creatinine, for example, if the levels aren't quite right when you've done the test with your creatinine, then it does reflect an issue with your kidneys. Okay, it's measured in milliliters per minute, and there are reference ranges to be aware of, different for men and women. Creatinine clearance is helpful for calculating dose adjustments for certain drugs, so your aminoglycosides, your antibiotics, your for example, vancomycin and gentamicin. It's important with these drugs because they are what we call narrow therapeutic drugs, which basically means they have a limited window within which they can be therapeutic to the patient, a limited range even. They are also nephrotoxic, and they are excreted by the kidneys. So when, for example, you need to change a dose, it's important to know the creatinine clearance to enable you to adjust the dose appropriately. How is creatinine clearance calculated? So through 24-hour urine collection, which is self-explanatory, very time consuming, often inaccurate. However, if this is done correctly, it is a very accurate measure of creatinine clearance. Also done through a serum blood creatinine sample, which is used with an estimating equation. We'll talk about it in the next slide. Advantages: quicker, cheaper in hospital settings. However, not accurate for patients at extremes of weight. For example, obese patients, elderly patients, and hench patients, so your bodybuilders, etc. So moving on to the Cockroft and Galt equation, which is the equation that is used as well as the creatinine serum sample to calculate creatinine clearance. So for this equation, it's the most common equation used. You need the patient's age in years, weight in kilograms, serum creatinine in micromoles per litre, and also their height if you need to calculate the ideal body weight. The more you use this equation, the easier it'll be to remember it. Just a note here, you need to use the ideal body weight only if the patient is obese or if their actual body weight is greater than or equal to 20% of their ideal body weight. That is the only time when you would use their ideal body weight instead of the actual weight here. Okay? Right, at this point, I just like to emphasize that we are not talking about EGFR. That is completely different. It still uses creatinine and it is a measure of the functionality of the kidneys. However, when calculating it, they use different parameters, so we're not talking about that. because those parameters are not factored into the Cockroft and goal equation. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, put them down below. Don't forget to like,